The mustard or HAAM CHOY are beginning to bolt, so we have no choice but to harvest them all and preserve them for future use. Let's bring them home and salt, ferment, or pickle them for future dishes. Please join me at home for this in-depth instruction and entertainment. Hello, let's presume. Welcome to my small kitchen. In fact, it's just a corridor. We need just boiling water and salt to blanch the mustard greens. This is approximately 1.6 kilos, I think. And this is approximately 2.4 liters, and this is 1.5 tablespoons of salt. Adding more does not harm. This is just the ideal proportion. By the way, I'll give you the complete list and proportion in the description box. Okay. Why do we need to blanch, you might ask? Whether freezing or pickling, blanching has three functions, main basic functions. It preserves the color, the texture, and what's the third? I forgot. Color, texture, and the flavor. I remember the flavor of the vegetables. So remember, it's not boiling, we're simply blanching. And we need boiling water for that, of course. I have here a colander to strain the blanch leaves later. Cameraman, do you think this is already boiling? I think it is.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let's wait. Our cameraman just said it should bubble, yeah, or briskly boiling. Bubbles, bubbles. What we're doing is called HAAM CHOY in Chinese, which means salted choy. Choy is the generic Chinese name for the pichai, the pak soy, the mustard, all those in that family, they're called choy or shu. So it's HAAM shu or HAAM CHOY. We can simply call it pickled green mustard. Burong mustasa or artem nga mustasa in my beautiful Ilocano. Look, it's now boiling and we can do the blanching now. We approximately 30 seconds to make it dark green. A small batch at a time. We stop when it turns dark green, or bright green I should say. If you compare that color to this is light green, and this should turn intense green, almost the Girl Scout green. And this is more of the, look, see the difference? Mm-hmm. This is the Versace green or mint green, and we turn it into Girl Scout green. It's still entire. I forgot to do it. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna show you something. Traditionally, they would do that. They would blanch the entire bunch, but I removed them from the stock because I have a small container. I think that was 30 minutes or 30 seconds already, and we can remove it from the water. I'm not going to show you the blanching of the entire batch. I'll have to see you later when this completes. It's not totally clean, but we can use this water for pickling it. I'll be adding slices of ginger. I did not do this in my earlier version, but I believe ginger enhances the flavor at the same time. And I think it also prevents unwanted bacteria. By the way, this is a Chinese tradition of pickling. Pagbuburo or pag-aratem, Chinese way. Just add this now to the water and just boil it, simmer it. For the meantime, we'll wait until this is cold enough for handling. This drained the water. In my beautiful Ilocano, we call this paik-ikan. I just spread it here for quicker cooling down. Notice that it's now cold enough for handling. If you come from a fishing village like me, this process is familiar. We'll now rub the leaves with salt. We do this with fish when we make bagoong or anchovy sauce. That's what we do. Asinan tayo dito bulong in my Ilocano. We'll just rub this with salt. My cameraman was surprised on the amount of salt that I use. Yes, you know what? In pickling or in fermenting, for one volume fish, half volume salt. So if we apply the same principle here, cameraman, the amount of salt will be this much, half. Okay? So here. It's time to put this salted vegetable into a receptacle. Anything that is not reactive. This is stainless steel, ideal. If you think there was more than enough salt, not yet. We're adding more salt. And sugar. How much do I need? 1.5 teaspoons. I'm afraid I have no more sugar. I may not have enough. This is the only sugar that I have. It's not, so I cannot help it but use it all. And vinegar. Let me check how much vinegar. 2 tablespoons times 3. So it will be times 3 tablespoons vinegar. And then I'll re-add the ginger. Enough to completely submerge it. More. I have a tip. I have a trick to totally submerge it. So to totally submerge it, I put on top a small plate. That's the purpose, small. And let's just keep it here overnight. Or I mean 24 hours. See you after 24 hours. Hello, welcome back. It's been 24 hours, more than overnight. And be reminded we are pickling mustasa. Nagbuburo tayo ng mustasa or artem ng mustasa as we would call it in Ilocano, following a Chinese tradition. We've been doing this before but in a simpler way. This time we've added some ginger. That's the difference. And what else? And more salt. Pickling is not the only way of preserving leafy vegetables. I have been freezing them, but pickling gives an enhancement in the flavor. That's why it's a good alternative. You will not believe how good it tastes when it's stir-fried and added with egg. That's what we'll do next. But first, let's continue pickling the mustasa greens or the mustard greens. We're going to transfer this into its final container, the jar. I just hope this would be enough to hold this volume. But first, let's sterilize it. I think you've heard it. The water was boiling. This is a procedure that I hate in this process. It's difficult to sterilize. Working with boiling water can be dangerous, so let's protect ourselves. Ideally, this should be totally submerged in boiling water, but I'm saving on gas, so just circulate it. This is not good. Equip yourself well. I'm happy. The volume of the water was perfect to completely immerse the leaves. Now let's cover it. When covering this, there shouldn't be any air trapped in the jar. The leaves should be totally immersed in water and no air. You see the water spilling over. That's a good sign, meaning no air. It's all water. Okay. I'll keep this in the refrigerator for at least 6 days. After 6 days, we can start using it. First, wash it. For presentability, I'm gonna cut out the excess plastic, the gasket. That is it. Presenting our prepared pickled mustard greens, buro. Okay, into the fridge. I hope to see you again after 6 days. We'll revisit this and let's cook stir-fried mustasa or buro mustasa with egg. Stir-fried pickled mustard greens with egg. See you next time and thank you for joining me. I had to remove this. It doesn't fit my small fridge. Again, thank you.